It's a hot and humid one. We had a little short shower there for a minute. Yeah, but all that did was wet things down a little bit and make it more hot and humid. And of course, many of y'all have been with the channel for a long time know. Y'all have seen this place a couple of times. This is the old Patterson log cabin. Yes, it is. And I like to come on over here. Well, one, it's only a few blocks from the house. Second reason, hardly anybody, rarely ever, is here. Except me. And thirdly, by coming on over here to this original log cabin, it's what they call a dog run or dog trot run log cabin. You can see the clear span in the middle there, and the living areas to the left and to the right, and everything. And supposedly it was built 1845 by Archibald Patterson. Yep, and Patterson's family still here. Yep. Yeah, I like to come over here because, you know, it takes me back to that time in America when life, everyday life, not just, you know, because what's going on with the virus now, economic downturn, unemployment, natural disaster, what have you. It didn't matter because life was already pretty darn tough. Just like right here in this old cabin. No running water, no bathrooms, none of that. No. Nope. They did their business in an outhouse. They drew their water from that well over there. Of course, that's little old well house here had been rebuilt, but there's actually a well inside there. There surely is. And yeah, this was all built out of native timber from right here on the land. And this was an active farm. In fact, it was active. I'm not sure they were living in the cabin all this time. But the farm itself here was active. You can see it. An old aerial photography. You know, back in the 40s, even up to the mid 50s. And of course, you can see the trees start growing in. Late 50s throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. To what once was fields over there are now all forest again. And I'm sure that's how it was when they first came here. It was all forest. Yeah. Yeah, we used to have some events here on a rare occasion, you know, like Pioneer Day, other, you know, Founding Day, you know, things of that nature. But we rarely do anymore. In fact, I haven't seen nothing here in several years. But you can see, sky's gotten dark. And what you're seeing, even all the way up here, 151 miles from the golf course coast, where Mr. Tom's at, that right there is the outermost band of what is now Category 2 Hurricane Ida. Yep, sure is. And like I said, it just brought its first showers here. The very most outer band. Isn't that amazing just how big those storms can be? And if you don't live in an area or a country that has such stuff, then you probably can't imagine. I mean, these hurricanes can span literally hundreds and hundreds of miles. See, this was a dog trot. Now, I can tell you, there is a good breeze blowing between these two right now. Rather smart engineering, the old folk was. Yep. But yeah, I come over here to remember mostly that no matter how hard life gets now, there was a time that just everyday life, every day, even during the best of times, were way harder than most of us have ever seen or could ever deal with. And this is especially true for the younger generations. There was no TV. There was no Wi-Fi. There was no internet. Hell, there wasn't no radio. Yeah. And this place was built when if you didn't grow it, you didn't eat it. And if you didn't grow it during the growing season, you were going to most likely starve during the winter to come. So there you are, friends and family. Now I can see y'all's faces and you can see mine. But I have noticed some people coming on in the comment section expressing concern for old Mr. Tom as Hurricane Ida marches her way to the Gulf Coast. Right now, she's a Cat 2. 100-mile-an-hour winds, yeah. Now they project it to be a Cat 4 when it makes landfall. Somewhere along the Louisiana coast, they're still saying. But the cone of uncertainty pretty much covers all of the Louisiana coast and most of Mississippi, right to the edge of Mobile. Now, I have been noticing Ida's tending to drift a little bit more eastward as she marches than what they anticipated. But the thing is this, she's going to grow rapidly, and she's moving quick. They expect her to make landfall. By now, they're saying Sunday evening around 7. You know, I hate it when hurricanes come in at night. Even with me up here 151 miles off the coast, you might say, well, you ain't got nowhere, Mr. Tom. Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you, I learned that lesson hard twice already. One was during Opal, I think in 95. Because Opal, she stayed a Cat 3 all the way on up to here. And it dealt out some pain in Tallahassee. A lot of damaged roofs due to the high winds. We saw gusts of anywhere from 90 something into 110. There was just literally millions of trees laid over. And that all the way up from the Gulf Coast, all the way up through the center of Alabama. Continuing on up to Birmingham, Alabama, before she started losing strength. And the roof on my house was damaged. Not severely, but it had to get reshingled. And limbs from the oaks were down just everywhere. Everywhere. Pecans. Yep, it was a mess. And there'd be no power for, I think it was, depending on where you lived. In my neighborhood, I think it was 4 or 5 days, could have been 6, who knows. So yeah, it was a mess. But the thing that bothers me is not the hurricane so much itself and the wind gusts. You know, I am worried about that. That's why I got those 2 big oaks trimmed up. So now there's no more dead in it. They're very open. And of course now they've been there, so they tell me, 200 plus years. And if you saw them up close and personal, the camera don't do them justice. They're just huge trees. But they're open enough now where the wind can come through them. And hopefully not cause too much damage. Hopefully. Of course, I do got some pines on the back property. That pines are weak. During a strong wind event, 60, 70 mile per hour above, they'd probably come down. As well as I got some other trash trees. But you can't do everything. There's only so much money and so much time. But, I thought last night and this morning when I was going through the comments, what more can I do? Even though I'm thinking, this will not be a major hit for us, nothing like it's going to be for the coast. Trust me that. It's going to get brutal down there and life-threatening, no doubt. And anybody who wants to ride out Cat 3 or above, I would say you're making a poor decision in life. But hey, you do you, I'll do me. But like I said, the thing that I fear most about these tornadoes, especially at night, or hurricanes, is the spin-off tornadoes. And they don't always happen. The conditions got to be just right. Temperature's got to be right. The wind's got to be from the tornado coming opposite from the winds coming in from the fronts that are already in the area, whether that be lows or highs or whatever. And if due to that certain combination, the hurricane winds are going one direction, the frontal winds are coming in the other, oh yeah, that'll cause rotation in a heartbeat. And you'll start seeing spin-off tornadoes. And they, in and of all themselves, can produce just as much devastation and loss of life, as we've seen in Alabama over the last few years, as any hurricane. Yep. I've lived that twice in my life, up close and personal. And I'd like not to live it again. But it's where I live. See, these are the things we deal with, and in our minds we're prepared for. Hurricanes, tornadoes, depending on where you live, floods, droughts, severe heat. And normally, up until last year, severe winter weather didn't come into the forecast. But as many of us learned in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and here in Alabama, yeah, we had a severe winter last February. A lot of the southeast lost power, too high of a demand, especially Texas, Louisiana. We did here in Alabama, and they did in Mississippi, not to the extent of Texas. So now, our preparedness plans got to include severe winter weather. So basically we get it all. Yep, tropical heat waves, sub-zero temperatures now, I guess. Hopefully it'll be quite some time before we see that again. Of course, now that I said that, it'll probably be back this winter. Hopefully not. In God's grace, I hope it don't. So yeah, went ahead and filled up the car. Focus is filled. The truck's already got nearly a full tank in it. I do got some gas cans I can go fill up, just in case, need my generator. I'll be plugging in my 2 solar generators. I got a little small one that I use to run some string lights, charge my phone. And then I got a rockwood that was given to me by none other than Rudy, the Alaska prepper, and his community. Yeah, sure was. So I got to make sure that's charged. And I got candles covered, Lord. If I ever run out of candles, I'll be 80 at the time or more. I got batteries. Got plenty of lanterns. Oh, as you know, got plenty of food. And just bought food yesterday. Hence, freezer's slap full, so hence the generator and gas, And what you might not able to see and feel, it's raining again. Yep. Yep, it's raining again. So we got to get it under the front porch. Now I didn't bring a chair today because I figured I'd just sit on the steps. But don't look like that's gonna be possible. Nope. Yeah, it's just light rain. Yep. That crepe myrtle's almost as big as the one I got at the house. You just don't see them that size no more. Here again, I figure that one outside my window's got to be, ooh, Lord, approaching 85 years old or more. Yeah. Been there a while. If I had to guess, Carlisle's planted when they bought the property. But yeah, I like to come up here. Think, as you can hear, it's nice and quiet. It's going to be rare if somebody bothers you up here. Plus, there's something about the spirit of the place. You know, I guess you might say a spirit of preparedness, of resiliency, of toughness. Yeah. Because can you imagine this being your home? No running water, no electricity. You got to tote your water. Yeah. For everything. Dishes, preparing food, washing up, doing laundry. Yeah. And we complain today when, oh, Walmart's all out of bottled water. What do we do? Yeah. And back in this day, they didn't even have a Berkey. Or, what's that other one? Alexapure. And there's just so many more. Like I said in my shopping video, I don't buy much bottled water, if any. I think I got 4 cases at the house. You know, and I've had that for a while. My son thought it was a good idea, basically because he's lazy. Didn't want to have tote water. Nope, but I'd rather go get it from the spring. Lord, when I'm down there, if it was a day like today, I'd dip me a ladle or 2 of it out and refresh myself before I toted the jugs back. Of course, now at my age, might have to stop periodically and put the jugs down. What, 5 gallons of water's what, about nearly 40 pounds a jug? Yeah. That rain's picking up a little bit. Yeah. Normally it'd be nice. It's not like we need a whole lot. But I no longer question God. You know, at least we have not had those horrendous wildfires they've had out in west, in California, Oregon, Washington, Wyoming, Montana. God, the list goes on. We have not had it. Our woods are nice and green, and for the most part every day the leaf litter is fairly moist underneath, so I'm thinking it'd be pretty hard for wildfire to get too much steam. Oh. You have to be really, really, really quiet to even hear it raining. So yeah, I come over here just as a reminder. No matter how hard I think my life is, no matter what I'm facing, there was a time when our forefathers before us, and that includes my family because they settled here even before the Revolutionary War, their everyday lives were 100 times harder than probably our hardest day most of us have ever experienced. Yeah. And like I say, there's something about this place, and there's other places I go to similar, old home places, that's almost as if those who I'm sure are resting somewhere out in the perimeter in that woods. I know of several Native American burial sites that aren't too far away, and I'm sorry, we won't go there. Occasionally I do. And I'm sure there's some old burial sites from the family or families that once occupied this land, long lost and forgotten, out there too. And maybe that's why I feel so comforted. And one of the aspects of being peaceful here is many times it's almost like I can feel others here. Yeah. Sitting on the back porch with me, or even here on the front. Sometimes, when people's dogs ain't barking incessantly because they won't go out and show them no attention. And that, yep. Occasionally I think I can hear the creak of a rocking chair on these old wood plank floors. Yep, surely think I can sometimes. Yep, you can hear the thunder now. But not only, my main reason for coming over here was to think, relax, go through that list in my mind, what more would I need? Just to make sure I got all my bases covered in case this, goes north. Like I say, we're in the South, don't say going south. We say going north. Am I forgetting anything? Got food, got water, got power, if I need it. Hopefully I won't. Yep. Car's filled up. Truck's filled up. The only thing I may do tomorrow is take a couple of my big 5-gallon gas cans on up, just in case. I hate to do it, because then I got to remember to use it up before it all turns bad, and rotate it. Yeah, you even got to do that with that stay bill in it too. Even using stay bill, it's not a dump it in, mix it up, set and forget it. Trust me, it ain't. Still got to use it up in something. Yep. Now I can use it up in the mower or in the truck. I just got to remember to. Yeah, hence part of getting old. I'll be first to admit I've let some get a little bit too old. Gas, that is. But that's about it. Got plenty of kitty food, both dry and wet. Yep. Yep. So I mean, I got medical supplies. Got everything I need to cook outdoors if I need to do that. And I've got camp stove, butane. I got a single burner, double burner. One is none, two is one. But those butane stoves are pretty darn reliable. I've had the same one I've had for like 25 years. Still works just fine. Keep it all clean, keep it up. Look, mine looks just like brand new, both of them. I did, find out where my water jugs were, ones for toting. And to my great joy, I found that, I had a couple of 3-gallon. Maybe I was thinking once upon a time it'd be a little bit easier for the old man to carry 3 instead of 5 gallons, because 5 gallons, whew, one on either side of you, hard on the arms and hard on the shoulders. If you only walking 5 or 10 feet, it ain't nothing. But the nearest spring, a little bit further than 5 to 10 feet. No way to drive there. No, you can drive up. Sort of, kind of close. Ooh, see that lightning? I did. And of course, now you can start to see. Yep, she's moving in. Yep. Well, y'all, I think that's good Lord telling me. It's probably a good time to head her on back to the focus, don't you think? Yeah, I'm going to take that as a cue before it gets sort of kind of nasty. You know, thunderstorm coming our way. And that's another thing that gets spun up on those there bands, which if you're looking at the weather radar, you'll see several bands coming off these hurricanes, and you'll notice the rain concentrates in those bands. Some of them get rather high winds in those thunderstorms. Well, that's a threat too. Straight line winds, they ain't no fun either. I've seen straight line winds here. I think the highest I can remember us ever getting was 77. You may have seen 90 one time. That's vicious. Yeah, especially because it comes just like a burst. Whew. All at once, ain't no build up when those babies come. So poor old Mr. Tom has to spend some quality time here at the cabin. I'm going to jump into focus and take her on back to the house. But I didn't want y'all worrying about me. We got our bases covered. Me, the kitty crew, and Grayson. We're going to be just fine. We're going to come through it. And yep, I thoroughly believe, with the help of God, we will come through just like we always have. But in the end, that's totally up to Him. So, until I see you on the next video, and of course, Kitty Crew and Gracie, y'all take care out there. Stay safe. Stay prepared for what may come your way. And may God bless each and every one of you as you bless others. Goodbye for now, folks. Yeah, it's getting pretty dark. Yes, she is. That ain't a hurricane. That's building some thunderstorms. And not pretty ones either. Rotation's coming in from the east. That'd be right. She's counterclockwise flow. And she's to the west of us, so we on the east side. What they call the dirty side. The side, if you gotta have a side, you'd rather be on the west side than the east side. Can't always be choosy though. I think that'll give you some idea of just what is currently on the way. In between now and sometime Monday evening or Tuesday, this is what we'll get. How much more? Only time will tell. Yeah, time to head her on to the house. Later, all.